try to get to as many questions as we can. So please stick to one at a time at first, please, for the first go around. Michael Coe, you go ahead first, please.
Hey, Coach. So regarding Alex Hunter for Furman, he's from just down the road at Leesville Road High School. Was he someone that you guys knew about coming out of high school? And was there sort of an expanded?
Can you say who again?
Sorry, Alex Hunter for Furman.
Yeah.
Number 10. Was he someone that you knew about coming out of high school at Leesville Road? And did you have sort of an expanded scouting report on him because of that?
No, I did not. I had a scouting report knowing that he's a big time player. He's really good. He's a fantastic kid and unbelievable player, and he's not just a shooter. He knows how to run a team. He's an outstanding defensive player. He can distribute. He's an experienced player, and he's a fun player to watch. It wasn't very much fun to watch him play at a high level in the first half, but he's an unbelievable kid, an unbelievable player, and he's had a great career, and nothing that he did surprised us. We knew what type of player he is. He's one of the better guards in the country.
Thank you.
Errol Reese, go ahead. Errol Reese, you're on mute.
Coach, congratulations on the win.
Yeah, thank you.
Talk about RJ and Caleb actually being intentional about getting the ball inside and really letting the game come to them tonight.
Yeah, two things. One, I wanted to say that they were fantastic. Both of them played at an extremely high level. From an offensive standpoint, last game, they had 1 assist and 7 turnovers. In this game, they had 11 assists to 3 turnovers. So their ability to create shots and get the ball to our big guys down low on the posts, or whether in transition, coming off ball screens, I thought they were fantastic. One of the things that I did is I apologized to the team when I went in there right after the game, and I specifically looked at RJ and Caleb because one of the things that I wanted them to do was really take care of the basketball, and I also wanted them, because I think they have an unbelievable ability to create shots for their teammates. I felt like in the first half, they were looking to pass so much that they weren't looking for their shot on the offensive end. And so the beauty with RJ and Caleb is they can create shots, but they can also make shots. And so that's one of the things that I said at halftime. I said, guys, I want to get the ball to our bigs. I want to distribute the basketball, but I also want you guys to shoot the ball. And so if you're wide open, I want you to shoot. And I felt like in the second half, they started getting into an offensive rhythm, and I was very, very proud of both of them.
Noah Monroe, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, congrats on the win. So at half, it was tied up at 39. Furman was shooting 53% both from the field and from beyond the arc. And then at the end of the game, they in second half shot 28% from the field and then 11% from beyond the arc. So at half, was their shooting something you tried to focus on and really tried to tell the team to try and contain?
Yeah, I wanted them to play defense. I just felt like we were giving them open shots. We were giving them everything that they wanted, whether it was from three-point range or their post players being able to score around the basket. I've said before, we can't take away threes, but we can contest everyone. We can't block every shot, but we can contest every shot. And that's one of the things that I said at halftime is I felt like they were more physical than us on both ends of the floor. And so from a defensive standpoint, that had to change. We had to be the aggressor. We had to be in the passing lanes. We had to be getting through screens. We had to be contesting shots. And I felt like we really did that. One of the things that we've always talked about is, there are going to be stretches and there are going to be times in practice and games where we're not playing well. Let's be a team that can immediately change. I always say next shot, next possession. Next possession, next play. Okay, everybody makes mistakes. As long as it's done with effort, I've got no problem with it. But let's change. And I felt like in the second half, we changed. We changed the way that we were playing defense on number 10 with a sense of urgency. We changed in closing out to shooters like 51. We changed in terms of making it harder defensively in the post for them to be able to score. And so I felt like our willingness to change was the biggest factor in us defensively playing better in the second half.
Greg Barnes, go ahead.
Hubert, you've mentioned several times recently that you would like to see your rotation expand. What would you like to see out of some of the guys who aren't playing as much to be able to get them some more minutes?
One of the things that I always, talk about is we've got unbelievable talent and we've got great versatility and, you've got great talent and great versatility if you use it. That versatility and that great depth will be used this year. For us to be the best team that we can become, we have to have DeMarco out there on the floor. We have to have Dontrez out there on the floor. We have to have Justin McCoy out there on the floor. We have to have Kerwin Walton playing at a high level. Game to game situations a lot of time dictates playing time. And I've always said this before, how you earn playing time is how you play in practice. You play well in practice, you'll play well in the games. And then when you get into the games, your playing time in the game will increase if your good play in practice is validated by your play in the game. And I really believe there's going to be some unbelievable big-time moments for DeMarco and Dontrez and Justin and Kerwin this year because in order for us to achieve all of our team goals, we need all of them. And they're going to be big-time players for us.
Thanks.
Brendan Mark.
Hey, Hubert, you guys really established Armondo after halftime. I think he had twice as many shot attempts in the second half as he did in the first half. Ended up finishing with a double-double as a result of that. Just how essential is it for you guys? I know being tied at halftime, how essential is it to make sure that he maintains and remains as a consistent offensive threat throughout the course of a game, even when the rest of things can, like you said, be changing?
Well, I just feel like irregardless if it was, Furman or Michigan or whomever we play, I really feel like that we have an advantage down low on the block. We've got some bigs that can do a number of different things, not just Armondo, but Dawson and also Brady, and that's a strength for us. We have the ability to penetrate, post, and shoot from three and get to the free throw line and attack the offensive glass. And so I want to take advantage of all of that on the offensive end. And a huge part of it is our ability, our bigs, to be able to score on a block. One of the things that you do when you score or penetrate and attack the basket, it also gives you an opportunity to get to the free throw line, and that means the opposing team is getting in foul trouble. I like that. I like when the opposing player or opposing team's best players are in foul trouble, and then we get to play against somebody else. You can't do that by just shooting threes. You have to attack the basket, and our bigs have been really good all year at being a post presence consistently on the offensive end.
Andrew Jones.
Coach, this is 2 straight games for Dawson. He's been at the 20-point mark, and he was obviously exploded out of the gate tonight. Is this just an example of circumstances, and that's why he was very productive in these games? Or is there something that he's doing differently and better and more often now that's kind of allowed him to increase his production?
Well, one of the things that we've talked about in the last week or so is just trying to establish him offensively early. He really feels like if he can, not just offensively, just kind of get going early, whether it's an offensive rebound, score around the basket, run the floor, hit a three, get a key defensive stop, and from an offensive standpoint. We've also talked about, I think he's more efficient when he starts inside out as opposed to outside in. I think at sometimes he'll start from three and then try to work his way in as opposed to, hey, let's run the floor like he did and score. Hey, let's get into the post. Hey, let's get to the free throw line and then step out and knock down that three. And I think that's a little minor adjustment that he's made and just making a conscious effort to kind of like establish him early in the game just to get him going. And it's been big for us the last couple games. I like the way that he's playing.
Thank you.
We got time for 2 more. CL and then Adam. Thank you.
Hubert, Hubert, what's your philosophy on kind of managing these scores? Because you have so many that you can have on the floor at one time, and Dawson kind of talked about, putting the emphasis on being aggressive early. And I was wondering if you've had guys who've kind of just gotten lost in the shuffle, like they don't necessarily look for their shots because there are other guys that can score.
No, I want everybody to be able to shoot. I've never given anybody a role where, out there on the floor, you can't shoot. The only thing that I've said from an offensive end is I want you to shoot shots that you practiced in practice. I want you to shoot shots that you have practiced before practice, and I want you to shoot shots that you have practiced and after practice. And if you consistently shoot shots that you practice before and after practice and during practice, and those are shots that you consistently make, then that's the shots that I want you to take. I haven't told one person on the team, this is a shot that I don't want you to take. I just want them to take good shots. And so from an offensive standpoint, everybody has freedom. That's what I want out there on the floor. That's why Leaky had the freedom in the second half and felt the freedom to be able, when he was wide open, to knock down those 2 jumpers and that 3-pointer, is because he's been practicing those shots before and after practice and during practice.
Okay, Adam, go ahead. Last one.
Hubert, just going back to your talking about willingness to change, and I think it's 3 of the last 4 games where you guys have either been tied at the half or within 2 points of the other team, and you sort of turned it on to have a convincing win in the second half. I mean, is that an encouraging sign for you as a coach to know that you can talk about things at the half and then they go out there and apply them the way you want it done?
Yeah, and I think it's even more encouraging because at the beginning of the year, I think it was a 3 or 4 game stretch where we were going to halftime and we were down. So at least we're tied. That's better, So I'll take that. I'll take positive things every time. And so no, it's great that we have the ability to change, especially on the defensive end. I think someone told me this is the 5th straight game that we've held somebody under 63 points. Before the game, the last time we had a North Carolina team has held a team 4 straight games under 63 points was, I think it was in the 2011-12 season. And so, it's been a while since defensively we've locked in for 4 or 5 game stretch like we have. And so that's really encouraging. Offensively, that can go up and down. Shots go in, shots miss. But one of the things that I always think that should be consistent is defense and effort and will and want to. And what's been consistent through the first 10 games, with the exception of Tennessee, has been our will and our want to and our effort. And I'm very, very proud of them.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Thank you, Coach Davis.
Okay, thank you.